Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my home in Livingston, Montana. Now, I should be shooting this video outside, but it's getting ready to rain and it's windy and not very good environmental conditions, if you will, for videographing. But I want to give you some tricks and tips about these miserable, cheap second and third-party belts that they expect you to buy for a deck, for a cutting deck on a riding lawnmower. Okay, I got something. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about here. I'll jump in front of the camera here in a minute. But for weeks now, I've been working on this guy right here. This is a mower I bought back in 2006, and it calls for a drive belt for the deck of a half an inch wide by 100.25 inches. You might want to pause this if you need those numbers. But I just thought I'd throw this card up here so you know what I was talking about. Okay. Sorry if I bump the camera here. I'm trying to be as careful as I can. Here is the drive belt that I replaced on that deck because I completely rebuilt that deck. I did a couple videos. And this stupid belt I got about 2/3 of the way through my lawn and it smoked. It broke. And I got really pissed off because I put a lot of work into this deck of mine. Like I say, I overhauled the whole thing. So I did a bunch of research on the internet trying to look up good belts and come to find out there's a lot of cheap, I said, second and third party belts. But if you want to get a good belt, you're going to have to spend some extra money. But I cross-referenced this guy right here and came up with this belt right here. It's a Gates. Remember that. That's why I'm sticking this right as close to this iPhone as I can get so you can remember this. But I put this belt on yesterday. It's a half an inch wide and it's 99 inches long, a little bit shorter than this guy right here. But it worked really good. Let me drop some of this crap and get it out of my way here. But this is a heavy-duty Kevlar all-purpose belt. They're green in color. Power-rated is what they call them. Remember this. You know, if you're having trouble with belts, I highly recommend that you cross-reference and find a belt that'll work for your needs that's under this Gates name and buy it. It'll last you a lot longer. Trust me. Okay. Let me move in front of the camera here. Let me get this refocused. Okay. And like I say, this belt right here, it never even made it. The first day I got my mower up and running, I was about 2/3 of the way through mowing my lawn. Look at what happened. Just smoked it, you know. I mean, I got to look at the construction of this thing, and it's not very good. But of course, my lawn was very, very high. I was expecting my mower to do some very, very heavy-duty cutting. My lawn was like 2 feet high. But nevertheless, I had read over and over and over on the internet about if you go to eBay or Amazon or any of these barnyard places, you're going to see these deck belts, these deck drive belts for mowers, you know, anywhere from $10 to $15 to $20. All these second, third party belts and whatever have you, don't buy them. Don't buy them. You're getting ripped off. Just get one, you know, just do like what I said. Just cross-reference. You only need the width and the length. And of course, the tallness of the belt comes into play too. If you want to know what this is, this was 5/16 because Gates, they go by a belt number 1, a belt number 2, a belt number 3, a 4. A 4 is a 5/16 high. So you're going to have to kind of do some figuring to get that part right, you know. But basically, this Gates belt that I put on right here, like I say, is exactly 1 1/4 inches shorter than the stock belt that's supposed to go on there, but it fit lots better. And then one last thing that I've got to say. Okay, on your deck, it is important that you get your deck level. Say like here's your drive pulley coming down off your engine, your drive pulley like this. If you got a cockeyed deck like this, it's pinching your belt. Because yesterday I spent a long time leveling my deck, adjusting those idlers underneath there, the return spring, the tension on the cable that employs the blades and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you can get away with using a little bit shorter of a belt, maybe even a little bit longer, but I wouldn't recommend that. But this level of the deck is important. If you can see this, because you're going to pinch that belt. You see what I mean? You know, as your deck's coming up. And that's what I had to do yesterday, was get my deck as level as I could so it was traveling level up and down like this. Because even though this gauge belt worked out real well, when I raised the deck up, had it in number 6 position, I had it raised all the way up, it was wanting to turn those blades when that's without them being engaged. So I carefully got underneath there and adjusted everything. So there is a trick and a tip for you right there on the leveling of the reason why you need to level a deck. You know, because it'll decrease wear on your belt, but it'll also put the right amount of tension on that belt so that, you know, your blades are running when they're supposed to be and not running when they're not supposed to be. Okay, but this name right here, Gates, if you're having problem with these cheap belts, these eBay belts, these Amazon belts, whatever, just cross-reference and get a Gates belt, okay? It's that simple. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got to say. I got to go outside and do more work if I can. I know it looks like it's going to storm out here, but have a nice day, and we shall see you on down the trail. Thanks for watching the video.